Lovely man.
Adorable.
Absolutely lovely dude. I remember he asked us. Anyway, he was lovely, but he asked us for a set of step ladders to replace the attic board that they hadn't replaced before they left, and they were in the attic basically all day. And pretty much, I bring the step ladders over, and he's talking away, doing all this, that, and this thing. And I mistakenly open up the step ladders before I gave them to him, and I end up getting caught on the sofa. And then have you ever seen old people fall over?
Oh.
And it's like super slow. And they're like continually trying to correct themselves before they fall down. So basically I felt like I was falling over for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, it seemed that way in real life to me as well. Yeah. You were falling for a really long time. With
and it's
me
not
and
that,
this
it's
man
like,
just watching you fall.
It was kind of, it's like that moment in Antichrist when the kid falls out of the window, you know, and it just goes on forever and forever. And that was what happened today, and the man had to, like, help me up.
Well, hello there. Welcome to On the Beat, the podcast that uncovers full frontal male nudity in cinema. It's Spooky Penis Month, part 2, and I am joined by my co-host Ryan.
Hello.
And we are joined by, this is the third time? I don't remember. Our friend, our third time, okay, Josh Martin of Uncomfortable Brunch and Orlando Pop-Up Movies. And hey
Hello.
Josh.
Sup?
And we have a first-time guest, man about town, Tighe Arnold.
Hey, self-confessed man about town.
That's
Self-confessed.
That's right.
What does that mean?
You own it. Like, not that it's a bad thing, but...
No, I mean, what does the man about town mean?
Oh. I don't really know. It's one of those kind of weird,
oh, come on, but it's self-confessed, though. You have to know what it means.
Well, I'm not really, though. I'm saying it ironically. It's like someone's uncle... thinning black hair, slicked back, leisure suit, cigar, maybe drinks a bit too much or has like a little nose candy problem. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's always just at the end of the bar and you give him a little
or just
nod.
around the corner. Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay.
Just around the corner.
Those guys can be just
like
around
near the bathroom
corner.
stalls.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, just leave him alone. That's
so
Arnold.
Yeah,
that's people who knows people, but you don't necessarily want to know those people.
Yeah, sounds right. Yeah, so that's sort of me ironically.
So
but that is what a man about town is. Maybe I didn't realize that was like an American idiom.
Okay. No, I mean, I was curious, and then it just ended up being this kind of self-deprecating description. Yeah.
Funny enough,
did you expect any different?
I don't know. I just wanted the logical explanation of it, and I got one. So that's fine.
There was an ad in like 2001 in Orlando. There was like the Orlando Weekly, and on one of the last pages, the advertisements, there was just this like heavy set guy in like a double-breasted Guayabera shirt, drenched in sweat, took his photo.
Oh God!
And a big cigar, and it was like blah 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 blah, cigar aficionado and man about town. We're like, holy shit, this is the coolest guy I have ever seen.
Oh, wow! I mean, I think that could be easily achieved. You know.
Oh yeah, hit a thrift store.
Awesome. Well, there you go. That's probably one of the best introductions we've had of a guest on this podcast thus far.
Oh, congratulations.
So there you go.
And we would expect nothing less from a man about town.
Yes.
So here we go.
Okay.
And we brought everyone here today for part 2 of Spooky Penis Month to talk about the 1985 horror comedy Re-Animator.
Part 1 of the Re-Animator doubler that we're doing.
The double.
The double.
Yep, starring Jeffrey Combs, Bruce Abbott, Barbara Crampton, David Gale, directed by Stuart Gordon, who we've talked about before, but I think you've got some points.
Thank you. Yes, it was directed by Stuart Gordon. We covered Stuart Gordon on the Fortress episode yon time ago. But yes, this is the seminal Stuart Gordon movie, also produced by Brian Yuzna. So I guess, like, I kind of want to go a little bit more in depth into Re-Animator and some of the intricacies and its development and how it came to be, because I feel like it's a seminal 80s horror movie that very much is the classic definition of what makes a cult film. And I will say, and everyone can chime in, because I'm sure a lot of this stuff isn't unknown to everybody else here in this room. Because certainly everybody here likes the movie, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
good. Right, okay. So we know that it's based on the novelette by H.P. Lovecraft called Herbert West Re-Animator, right?
Has anyone read it?
Yes, I had a Lovecraft phase. The movie's way better.
No, I'm not a racist.
Hey,
It is
coming in.
racist.
Yeah, I know.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I read it today. It's pretty good though.
I also can't read, so
There's that.
there's that.
Yeah. But no, yeah, that's like a weird journal of him. Like it's like very like Dracula, like Bram Stoker, where it's like a very like kind of like someone else narrating the thing, and it goes
Yeah.
on and on and on. You're like, oh, okay, fine.
D. Yeah.
What?
From the Francis Ford Coppola movie.
Yeah.
Signs everything D.
Oh, right, the D.
Yeah. D. You know. So.
Sesame Street's Dracula.
Yeah. So let's just say that Stuart Gordon originally conceived this as a stage production because of he's originally a theater director. He continued to be continued to be a theater director all the way through his career up until obviously his death in 2020, if I remember. But as that fell through, they decided they were going to turn it into a television pilot. And I think they pitched it to CBS.
PBS.
Was it PBS?
Yeah, which is
that's a
very
mistake.
weird.
That's close. I didn't even write that piece of information down, so that was a good tell. Anyway.
Here, I got you back.
So, in terms of the TV show, they wanted to make 13 half-an-hour episodes based on this novelette, which to me seems crazy. Absolutely crazy. The idea of having a Re-Animator TV show.
Yeah, it's really
in any
weird,
way, shape, or form.
especially being put on or produced by PBS, which I feel like you're typically known for doing
Be like
like
a
period
weird-
dramas.
Right.
Yeah, like a
Masterpiece
70s
theater.
BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70s
Yeah.
BBC
Downton
kind of just
Abbey.
like
I can
yeah.
kind of see it though because they probably would have had a little more leeway than they would have with CBS.
I guess that's kind of
Content-wise,
true. They could be like, we're public.
yeah, I mean, I remember watching Monty Python's Flying Circus episodes on PBS at the middle of the night, and that had nudity in it.
Oh yeah,
So
at least women on there. Every episode had
Yeah.
many women in bra and panties.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a stretch, but I can kind of see that.
Sure.
Well, it
You
would have
know,
been more
public
true to the
broadcasting,
stories
take
as well. Like it would have been a period,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
drama,
Yeah.
horror. So it would have been more. It wouldn't have been as gory and bloody.
Not like Dark Shadows wacky though. It would have just been
Yeah.
kind of wacky.
Oh God.
Man, I used to love Dark Shadows. I used to watch it with my mom. She was obsessed with that melodrama. I seriously watched so much of that. It was crazy. It was on the reruns were on Sci-Fi Channel in the
Yeah.
90s.
Yep.
Oh man, Barnabas Collins. I was big fan.
We were too vanilla of a fan. My mom just loved Days of Our Lives.
Oh, she was an All My Children's fan.
Oh, so is
but-
my mom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Susan
Big All
Lucci
My-
was in the house for
absolutely.
sure.
Night.
Yeah.
Every day, every time I was homesick. Here we
Daytime
are.
soaps are like the best kept secret.
Just gotta watch your stories.
That's right. You gotta watch your stories.
Okay, so we were talking about the PBS drama miniseries. So what happened next, Ryan?
So basically, they'd written all 13 episodes, and then they pitched it, and they basically said, that's not going to work. Like, they only run in, say, hour-long episodes for it, but they just didn't feel like the material worked. So eventually, due to... I guess if you take like the concept of what Re-Animator is and what they were trying to do with it, its home was going to be within the horror space, which only really works in film at that time. So that's when Re-Animator becomes a movie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fateful.
Okay. Do you have any information on when Yuzna got involved with this project?
No, I didn't feel like I needed to go that far in depth with it.
Why didn't
like
you?
for my notes,
Why didn't
but
you get too deep?
Well, why? Are you about to tell me?
No.
It was a hell of a setup, though. It was a solid setup.
Wow.
I did not have that written down.
Oh, okay.
All I have written down is that he came in and wanted to make it into a feature and then pushed together all the 6 stories that were in the novelette. So that's pretty much what they did. Took pieces of all of the stories and integrated them into a more modern telling of the story, which I thought was more... I thought they had all the really good pieces of the Lovecraft tale within the story. I mean, you have the headless guy and who uses kind of like a wax head, like that's in the stories. I mean, you have stuff in the original story where there's like typhoid fever, and they were using those people to as their fresh corpses because they needed to be super fresh. The fresher, the better, and all this stuff. That's all he kept talking about. But he, like, Jeffrey Combs is spot on with his interpretation of Herbert West from the book. So I don't know how. I don't know if he read it. I don't think he read it before he was cast in this film.
I don't know. All I remember reading was that he had absolutely zero faith in this project whatsoever, and he only did the project for the money.
Combs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
But obviously, someone had to, call the police at some point because obviously a scene was stolen many a time.
Oh my god, that transition.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
It's been a pleasure, everybody. I'm out of here.
See this. That's
Cue door closing.
How proud of yourself you are for that fucking
I've
line.
never seen you so
That's
proud.
fine. If you're not familiar with things I do on this podcast, then you only have yourself to blame. But yeah, no. I mean, he makes and breaks this film 100%.
He doesn't break this film.
Hey.
I mean, if he wasn't here, does Re-Animator still become...
Yeah, nobody's like a Bruce Abbott fan.
No.
I mean, he's
You're
fine.
there to watch Combs.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're there to watch Combs.
the only...
They watch
Barbara
Crampton a little bit,
you're there to watch
too.
a little bit of Crampton, too.
Can't take my eyes off the Crampton.
No.
No.
She's still got it, too, man.
I know, that's the
she
crazy
does.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like ageism or like, oh, she's so old, so she still looks
No.
good. It's just like, you're kind of also not surprised that, like,
Yeah.
just kind of gifted. Maybe like a weird...
Oh, yeah. Have you seen
Christian.
Jacob's Wife?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Her and Larry Fessenden fucking get down on the kitchen floor, and it's fucking dope.
Like a fine wine. I think
Yeah.
it might be better with age.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the woman's never lost it. I think the only person that rivals Combs in this movie, though, is I would say like David Gale's character in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he has a look and a way about him that I feel like I've not seen in a lot of other things. Like,
He's like a
it is
master.
crazy.
A master of creep.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he just feels like he's smelling women's hair through the whole thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
that ickiness.
Ugh.
Like, he takes pictures of you while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
takes your
He's got like the
underwear.
mirror shoes in the subway. Like, that's the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blech.
Ooh, I need to tell everyone the synopsis of this film. I didn't do that yet. My apologies. So I pulled this from Letterboxd. Here we go. A dedicated student at a medical college and his girlfriend become involved in bizarre experiments centering around the reanimation of dead tissue when an odd new student arrives on campus. That actually doesn't make sense because...
That's weird, yeah.
The experiment started when Herbert West shows up at school, and the girlfriend was never involved in those experiments. So that's incorrect. That's an incorrect synopsis.
Where did you get it from, though? You got it from
Letterboxd.
Letterboxd, though.
Oh, boo.
Some of them,
Surprise.
yeah, some of them are probably incorrect. Well, some of them are like fucking tomes.
Yeah, they
Some of them
explain
just
the entire...
basically, some of them just describe every single plot point in the movie, and you're like, right, okay, I don't
Jeffrey
think that's...
Tomes?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You should be.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's the tagline. Herbert West has a good head on his shoulders and another on his desk.
All right.
Yeah, that was on the
I love
poster.
that.
Oh my God. You guys, I have to tell you something about this movie. And the poster. I have always, so, the title of the novella or whatever is Herbert West Re-Animator.
Yes.
But what if, instead of that, it was Diane Wiest Re-Animator? An 80s mom, Diane Wiest, is just there on the poster, just Dr. Hill's head, and just like, how amazing would that be? Somebody make this parody shirt, poster, whatever. The idea is free. You have my money.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed just hearing it.
I'm just thinking of like the Serial Mom like cover, but it's Diane Wiest
Yeah,
instead.
yeah. I mean, I'm currently wearing a DC Talk hat, and even that is
Oh,
embarrassing.
come
for a
on.
barrel.
Weast. The Weast fans are out there. Where are my Weast heads at?
Yeah.
Wait, that's oh my god. We're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Yeah, it's been nice and all, but that's fine. Yeah, no, we'll give you a call.
Oh, burn.
Yeah, I had my Reanimator shirt probably from high school, and I remember because I wore it all through college. And about a year or two ago, a friend from college happened to be in town and swung by my work. And I was wearing it. He's like, Jesus, you're still wearing that same fucking shirt.
Oh my god.
Like, I cannot believe that thing exists. And he knew by how not black it is anymore. Like it's, an extremely dark gray.
Yeah, charcoal on its best.
Yeah.
When it almost becomes translucent because
Right.
it's been washed so many times. Yeah.
Very comfortable shirt. I bought it on discount in November at Hot Topic. Best,
Wow,
$13 I've ever spent, clearly.
Nice. Nice.
Hot Topic's kind of like what's that store back in Scotland? What was that?
I don't know.
Gadzooks.
It's like Urban Outfitters or something.
Okay.
Urban
That's
Outfitters
like
is
the-
like
That's like the Hot
Isn't
Topic
Urban.
is the goth version
Yes.
of Urban Outfitters is the hipster version.
yeah.
There's another one that isn't Urban Outfitters. It's something
Spencer's?
else. No.
Oh, H&M.
But I mean, I was asking specifically Laura because she was in
You're not
Scotland
talking
with
about
me.
FOP, are you?
No, not
Because they have
Fop.
those shirts too. They
No,
have
the
all
other one
sorts.
that was on Princess Street, that had like wood and stuff. It was a hipster place. It was just wank. What was it called?
I think
Do you
it's
not
Urban
remember?
Outfitters.
Is it Urban
Like
Outfitters?
the 2 stories.
Yeah, it didn't have all the
That's the
stairs
one.
and stuff. It's outfit with loads of wood
Yes.
for whatever reason.
That's an Urban Outfitters.
Yeah, they have those
Okay.
here too, and it's exactly the same.
That's where I go and buy all my vinyl. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
vinyls.
no, I think that's
Stop.
I think that's
Oh
fine.
my god.
I guess.
Vinyls.
Yeah, the vinyls.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh dear. There's
Wow.
going to be a lot of missed phone calls after this episode, isn't there? I mean, where do we go from here, Laura?
Well, I
I have a lot to say.
I have many
you have a lot
things
to say, and many of us have a lot of things to say.
I do want to say, I know that you want to talk about the opening music, and I want to say for the opening title credits that I love how it looks, and it's very colorful and very fun.
Created by Richard Dawson, who's
It's really awesome.
yeah, he did stuff for Burton as well. Tim Burton, obviously, the Tim Burton that we all
Why, not
Yeah,
Richard
no,
Burton.
we all know.
We have to make the distinction.
Yeah, Saturday night, Sunday morning. Yeah, I love that title sequence. But yeah, no, he created the opening title sequence.
It's not as good as Bernard Herrmann's score, though.
No, I think that's a fantastic score. So I do want to talk about the soundtrack by Richard Band, and I guess it's kind of it definitely falls under controversy. And I do kind of want to talk about it. I kind of feel like it. Because I've got a full fucking interview with him on this phone. And
I'd love to not go negative immediately on this.
so I'm not going to. I'm going
Okay.
to pose it as a question. And then I want to see what can happen. So I'm going to try and bring some level of balance and equality to it.
Wow.
So that maybe it might sound like I'm being negative, but I'm maybe
There's
not.
2 sides to every story about plagiarism, Ty.
I think so. Yes. So Richard Band, he's recruited on to do the soundtrack, to do the score for this movie. And I guess like when I start to quote some of the things from this interview, it's gonna get even worse. But let's just say he used, and this is a quote, he used Bernard Herrmann's score for Psycho. Because certainly the score is very similar to Psycho. Mm-hmm. It's like one of the most famous scores ever written. Right? And he uses Psycho as a base. It's whether or not we feel like, is it as an influence, or is it just a straight rip-off?
I don't get straight rip. I get heavy inspiration, but I don't get like straight rip off.
I
I know that Stuart Gordon said that he was upset that everyone was saying terrible things, but he knew that he did it as an homage.
Yeah.
Kind
It's
of like
what-
Vanilla Ice and Queen and Bowie.
Yeah.
A little different, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like sampling something else to become something different is kind of not the same as, because I feel like Richard Band's explanation for why he's done it this way doesn't seem to help his case in terms of trying to feel like it's actually inspirational.
What did he say?
So let's put it this way. He goes, so Band did this interview. This is from 2016, and this was from comingsoon.net. So whether or not you decide there's any legitimacy to this,
Sure.
we'll figure out anyway. But basically, Band's asked, the Reanimator score is dynamic, but most certainly kin to Psycho. Why did you opt to quote this famous work? And I feel like that's a very leading question, just regardless anyway. But Band says, at the end credits of Reanimator, there was supposed to be the words, with acknowledgement and humble apologies to Bernard Herrmann, but basically there was a screw-up and they left out. I was given the option that was willing to pay to reshoot the end credits. They would fix this, but it would add an additional $10,000 costs, and I couldn't afford it because I went so over budget making the film that I had to go into my own pocket for $15,000 to complete it. I never made a dime off Reanimator. It was a weird situation.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's a strange thing. I mean, the thing is, like, if you take, like, the opening credit sequence just on its own, which in and itself, and I've kind of written this down anyway, it simultaneously is a homage, a rip-off, and also original, whilst also kind of being synonymous with this film and the series as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I find to be confusing for the most part.
But confusing, but we reap the benefits of it.
We do. I do like the idea that, because we watched the documentary of the making of as well, they definitely pass the blame to Richard Band for the music.
Oh, yeah.
And they were always kind of just like, well, no, I mean, he obviously took a lot of flack for that, but we have nothing to do with it, other than the fact that obviously Stuart Gordon could say something as to whether the direction of the music is suitable enough for the film.
Correct.
You know, there's obviously opinion to add to this situation.
Even if the producer
I'm mostly joking with being shitty about it, because I do think, though, that the rest of the score throughout the movie gives it a pass.
Yeah.
If the whole thing was a rip-off of the entire score of Psycho, because that's not the only piece of music from Psycho that's memorable, clearly.
No.
I can think of at least one other piece that's much more memorable.
Yes.
I think it ends up just being a silly bit of shitty trivia that is low-hanging fruit for lazy comedians like me.
Comedians?
Oh yeah, I'm a professional.
Oh, okay. Coolio. Well, I mean, yeah, you have done it on a stage and you have been paid for it.
Have I?
I mean,
have I ever
you?
been paid to be on stage?
I don't know, have you? That was the
Monopoly
question.
money.
Been paid with love.
No, I have not been paid with love.
Yeah.
Paid with free popcorn.
Yeah. Or as many people would say, love doesn't pay the bills. So, yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
So,
telling me.
What would I be, a rich man?
But yeah, I guess if we want to kind of go deeper into that interview, yeah, you guys out there, our fellow listeners, you can read the whole thing, because it's very much a back and forth of about a man who is like, I really like the score to Psycho. I wouldn't mind just making it myself. So,
but also, Richard Band has been recycling the same scores that he's been doing for 40 years.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
I mean, he is very much of the Band family.
Yep. 100%.
Charles Band being his brother, who certainly is not original in any way, but that's why we love him, because he does these like shitty reboots of stuff or reworkings of stuff, and does it for $10,000.
You can tell he's doing it for $10,000, but like earnestly.
Yeah.
He really, really wants it to be good. He just doesn't have the resources, and that's the charm of it.
Side note that this is completely unrelated, but I just think it's very funny, is that on my Letterboxd I can look at my stats throughout the year, and currently my top watched directors of the year I think are Bergman, Cronenberg, Wes Craven's in there, but the number one is Charles Band with 29 titles.
nice.
Wow.
Because I got the full moon streaming service, and
Whoa.
those movies are only like an hour
Crank
long.
them out,
and
dude.
it's great. Those are always on the background now. And I got the Evil Bong box set, so that knocked out like 10 of them right there.
Oh my god, I've never been able to do Evil Bong.
I did them in one day with
halfway-
Philip.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, that's awful. You hate pot humor.
I know, but I was stoned the whole time, so it kind of worked out.
The only acceptable answer.
I don't really remember the last couple because it was like 11 hours.
Oh my god.
Wow, I'm terrified. I should look and see what my Letterboxd directors are going to be for this year. I'm scared.
Yeah, I've not done particularly well this year, like whatsoever.
Number one most watched actor, Charles Bronson.
Of course.
Yeah, I watched 33 Bronson movies so far this year. I'm not done.
Yeah, no, you're a.
There
fucking,
are good people in the world. I never thought I would say that, but you're drowning in scumbags if you're watching that many. There are two types of people in a Bronson movie: him and scumbags. There are barely women and children to be saved in those movies.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
it's one and the same.
There's always a motherfucker
My
looking
God.
to get roundhouse.
That's the cry for help. I've been watching Charlie Bronson movies, like 30 of them.
It was a while. It was earlier in the year. It was good. I had a good. It was like over a week too. I mean, it was awesome.
I love Charles Bronson, but that's
it was stupid.
You pick and choose.
Yeah.
Speaking of Charles Bronson, this film was shot in 18 days. Has nothing to do with
Classic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
16
weird.
for principal photography, 2 for pickups, and I don't know if you guys knew this. I'm sure that you did, but you guys are sharing letterbox jokes.
Yeah,
I was trying to find mine while y'all were going off on your rant. I have no idea how to find those.
There's nothing sad about watching 16 Doris Wishman movies in a year.
God.
I don't know, Laura. You're leading this. You're captaining this ship. You've got to get
All right,
these.
I'm coming back.
Me and Josh
Get these deckhands in line.
So the original opening sequence of the film was in the script, but they didn't shoot it when they did the principal photography. And then when they watched the film back, they realized, okay, no, we need something else. I think Yuzna was saying that the audience needed to be introduced to like the grotesque nature of the film right away. Otherwise, he's like, they're not going to get it if we wait too long to show them all this crazy shit. So he's like, let's just throw them right in. And so they went back and took one day and filmed that opening sequence and kind of gave an introduction to Herbert West. And
Popping eyeballs will do that.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I was listening to how they did that. It was just like 2 bladders with like hoses filled with like fake blood, and they just like had 2 people just blowing up the bladders like balloons.
That's awesome.
And then just popping them. So good.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like that pre-credit sequence seems to be a tradition they kept with every single one of the films.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they all kind of open with something super fucked up, and then the credit sequence starts. So there you go. That was my 10 cents. Enjoy.
The special effects people only had 6 weeks to put everything together.
Wow.
And
Good
they had
job.
Yeah. They're like, this is a lot of stuff.
it's like Bravo Teen in The Thing, where he like was only eating candy bars and working 23 hours a day, and they like had to admit him for exhaustion, like medical exhaustion.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Yeah, where you could just literally work yourself to death.
Yeah.
They had
Living the dream.
24 gallons of fake blood were used in this film.
24?
Yeah.
Huh. I figured there was more.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's still quite
light.
small, yeah.
A gallon.
I think Brain Dead still has the most amount of fake blood in any film ever, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Or at least I read that somewhere. I think Brain Dead might.
How many did you guys use in Invaders?
Oh, dude, trash cans full. I mean, those are 50.
Yeah, just so much.
Yeah, just because the gag was a stream of
I'm
blood.
referring to a
Crammed
short
through.
that Ty produced that's very, very good, very funny, called Invaders. You should look it up on Vimeo.
Yeah, the whole... I don't want to ruin it.
No, I'm not going to give away the gag. Just there, it is bloody, and it's amazing.
Yeah, volume.
It's a great Thanksgiving film, which is coming up.
Indeed, yeah, it's true. Right around the corner.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll show it before. I got to figure out a way to show Thanksgiving somewhere this year.
Yes, my God.
I'll throw it in front of that. Like how I'll make it a tradition, like how I show Treevenge before whatever I'm showing at Christmas.
Yes, love Treevenge. We're getting a new Jason Eisner movie, but kind of a sequel to or a remake of his VHS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a kid movie-ish.
Kids
but
versus
not
aliens.
really. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, did you guys see that like sleepover alien one that was in
VHS 2?
Yeah.
It was the closer.
No.
Like all shot on a
it's
GoPro.
awesome.
Oh, it looks like he's basically like remaking that as kind of like an indie film.
I'm interested.
Yeah. Where Jason Eisner's did Hobo with a Shotgun, and he's awesome.
Yeah, it's
great
amazing.
Canadian treasure.
Yeah.
Did you guys clock? I guess this is the one of 2 films that have a character named Hans Gruber in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this
Dr.
was,
Gruber from the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, Hans
Dr.
Gruber was the
Gruber.
doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Gruber.
here's the thing. Like, I mean, anyone in like Middle Europe, be it Germany or Switzerland or Austria or whatever, like they're gonna be called Hans probably.
I mean, I guess. But
Might as well, yeah. I mean, you put your hand out there. If you're in Germany, you're gonna stumble upon a
I'm gonna
Hans.
touch some Hans.
Yeah, you're gonna hit some Hans. Yeah.
You know what? Another interesting thing is that the building that was used for the Miskatonic Medical School in this movie was the same building as the Cyberdyne headquarters in Judgment Day, Terminator 2.
Huh.
Yeah, they used
I
the
didn't
same
know
building.
that.
Weird.
It is weird.
Where
You're
is
right.
it located,
Yeah.
actually?
No idea.
Huh.
Not Northern California?
I mean, it must be.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Huh.
You mean that's the main hospital in the film?
yes.
Or is that right? Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't tell.
No.
You don't really see any windows in that hospital. I don't think there's any windows in that hospital.
No, I don't remember seeing
I mean,
it.
it
No.
mainly sticks to emergency room hallways and the morgue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of
Plus,
makes sense.
the whole thing, like, kind of beautifully feels, like, stage-bound. Like, you can tell
Yeah.
it's, like, the hard theater background. Like, the walls, he shoots wides, and the walls go, like, 16 feet up, but all the set decoration stops around, like, 7 or 8 feet.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just built the tall flats so you could shoot wides. So it feels very studio-bound, but in, like, a very charming way.
Yeah.
There are no windows anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for, unless they're at the house.
Yeah. And this was Gordon's first feature, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels, like, theatrical in a very specific
Yeah.
and fun way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like the cast was saying how interesting it was that they actually got to rehearse for this film for a while before they filmed it, because that doesn't really happen anymore. But this was a lot of their first films.
Right.
So, because they were all stage actors.
Yeah. I mean, Barbara Crampton had been in a few things. You know, actually, she hadn't gotten into soap operas yet, but she, what was the sex comedy that she was in? Was it Last American Virgin?
Was she in that? You might be right.
I think that's what
it's
is.
What you call it picture? Golan Globus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like their first big hit. Like, I think that was a big
Yeah.
hit in Israel or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the one that made them, I think.
I'm looking it up because I want to know for certain.
Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, as far as teen sex comedies from the early 80s go.
Yeah, I've heard it is.
I still think for a directorial debut, though, in terms of like feature filmmaking, this is probably one of the best ones.
Oh,
that I've
yeah.
seen, yeah.
Fraternity Vacation. Similar.
Yeah.
Different movie, though. But she did have a very small role in Body Double. That was her first...
Right.
That was her first
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Brian De Palma
Yeah.
film,
Good
if we
old
call it that.
B-Dog.
Not a
Yeah,
fan.
Not a fan either.
I like him.
Really? You guys hate De Palma?
I like Mission Impossible.
I was going to say late stage De Palma or early stage De
Yeah.
Palma.
Black
You went right in
Dahlia,
the middle,
that's
fucking
it.
middle. You went smack in the middle.
I think Mission Impossible is really fucking good.
It's a great movie.
It is
And
a
there's
great movie.
there's some really good bits in Snake Eyes. The rest of it, though, I don't know if I could really give a fuck about
he
it.
shoots his shot in Snake Eyes. It doesn't always sink, but
Yeah. That's a technical
Yeah.
achievement for me. I'm not a
Wait,
big fan
hold
of
on.
the
He
movie,
did do
but
the Untouchables, right? The Untouchables is pretty
but
good.
that we're talking like when, but in
No
mine was
Battleship Potemkin, if you ask me.
Dressed to Kill?
No,
Carrie.
thank you. Hard
Carrie's
pass.
all right. Carrie's okay.
Carrie's fine.
Yeah. Actually, maybe you hate it more than I do. I think oh god. Well, he was at the Edinburgh Film Festival back 2007, I think. He did a Q&A there, and there was I don't know if I want to talk about this. 'Cause it's
Wow,
like
okay.
it's my interpretation of something that he did. But he ended up getting a woman down from the audience, like a girl, and he, for whatever reason, like he was like trying to explain how he would direct someone. So for him, he needed a female presence for him to effectively like stage and pose and he touched her hips and stuff. And I remember at the time I was like, huh, that's kind of
no
weird.
one can see us shooting each other looks.
I was
Yeah.
like,
A lot of side eye going on.
I don't know. I've seen Body Double. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just don't know if I like his stuff that much. I like the popular De Palma stuff.
Sure.
You know. Oh no, it was you know what? That's why I fucking saw it. That was the same year the fucking shit Black Dahlia movie came out.
Is that
Yeah.
the one you just said you liked?
Yeah. No, I don't like. I don't actually like that movie. It's terrible. But I did see it in theaters, though.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think I also did.
Yeah,
I
well,
just
yeah.
like going to the movies.
It felt a little cheap in a good way.
I do kind of like that it feels, a little gross.
Yeah.
I like to see kind of gross, dirty, sexy Josh Hartnett.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Oof.
There is some
Oh.
smoldering stares in that movie from that dude that I'm just like, yeah, no, you can't really pull that off. It's just,
My Josh Hartnett exists in The Faculty, and that's it.
Oh.
I mean, I like when he's getting raped for comedy in 40 Days and 40 Nights. That's funny, right?
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
That's
It's
comedy.
a dude. That's makes it funny.
I saw that in the theater as
Jesus.
well.
Yeah.
So did I.
Oh God.
We haven't even gotten past the title sequence. By the way. We've been
Whoops.
speaking for quite a while.
I mean, to be fair, we knew this was going to happen.
I don't have a lot of notes about what happens after the. Well, I do. Don't even know where to start. Does anyone have anything in specific? Because I was going to just jump right into the this like sex scene, which I really like. When oh my
Well,
god,
this is
Yeah.
well,
I'm trying-
yeah.
I'm-
yeah. Here we go. Well, no, I did have something to say about it. It's like everyone harks on about that one edit in 2001, but really this one might be better.
Oh, my God.
Don't disagree.
Are you talking about when Megan and Dan are like in the hallway and she's
Yes.
saying
Yeah.
no,
Yes.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she's saying yes,
Yes, yes,
yes.
yes.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's
There's
better.
cinema right out the gate.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we know what we're doing
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
They
bet
understand the language of film.
because I bet that single shot, that transition didn't take maybe 2 years to figure out. So I'm sure it was. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. And
Yeah.
that's where you see Dan's Talking Heads poster
Yeah.
above the bed.
Oh, you beat me to my best note that I had. I love it.
Damn it.
No, it's not. I mean, it's,
Go
not
ahead.
it's not my best note. It's just like, hey, every time I somehow forget it's in the movie every time, and then I go, hey, why did I forget that I love that so much? Because it's strong right in. It's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
There's also something that she does when she gets out of bed and she puts on her bra. And I know I'm speaking to a group of men right now, but she puts on her bra.
Yeah, she does it
backwards,
like reverse. Yeah,
and she
yeah.
clips
Listens
it in the
fasten,
front
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
twists it around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. I was gonna talk about that.
I feel
I
like
had
I've
that in
seen
my
that
notes.
in a film before, but
I've seen it in
don't-
several films before.
I've never seen it in
I've
real
seen it
life.
in tons. Well, so I've seen it in
Yeah.
tons of films. I feel like it's like classic, like almost Hitchcockian. You know what I mean? Like we're in that middle phase where it's like gives them something to do. Like weirdly, it's strange.
It
It
is
feels
strange.
male
Well,
motivated, but I have seen women that do it. Usually like a bikini top. You know what I mean? They'll do that, but.
I've always seen it as a kind of because if it's something that has to happen in the scene, I feel like it's always a time saver
Sure.
because you don't want a shame moment like that poor prostitute in the room where she's just like,
Yeah.
do you need a hand? And she can't fucking get it buttoned up and stuff like that because their bras are a pain in the arse. I really sympathize with women who have to wear bras because they're fucking awkward.
I mean,
Yeah, it seems terrible.
Yeah.
Probably just maybe less annoying than balls are. I don't know
Either
how
way.
you guys handle those all the time.
Well, I mean,
I'm
I don't
still
know. I'm
angry
not
about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I do
No,
have
not
when I
great.
wake up in the morning. I do have to put them in my special ball bra that I have specially made for them.
Yeah.
Make sure they sit correctly.
You need
Yeah.
to see a doctor.
Yeah. Not soon. Now.
Like, we need to hit pause, and we're taking you to Centricare.
just-
Walk in,
Let's just check them out real quick.
get that shit drained or whatever the fuck. I don't know what's going on. Like,
Like, guys, we can just look. I can just pop them out right now. It doesn't really matter. Like, we can just figure this out and figure out if it is a medical emergency or not.
Well,
Feel like fucking watermelons. I'm
My God,
telling
is
you.
that what that smell is?
Jesus.
Oh my god. Ugh. Anyway, it's made me
Smells like
reconsider
a
how
fucking
I've...
cheese shop in here.
Oh, Jesus.
Jeez.
That's not true, everybody. I want you to know. That is
That smell
untrue.
That smell hasn't been in this room before.
I can stop. Okay,
So-
stop. This has gone too far. I don't even know what to say right now. I was going to say this scene has made me reconsider how I put on a bra.
Oh.
Like, I wonder if it's
seems,
better.
It seems much more efficient to me. I mean, I've not given a ton of thought.
I haven't thought about it. It's just something that you do.
Well, yeah,
and
it's like you've got
just
the muscle memory, so...
Yeah, I couldn't.
You're
I
like
don't
a
think I could
basketball
change it.
player. Shooting free throws.
Jesus.
That's all that is. That's why they do it so much. So I've been told.
Wow. So speaking of roommates, has anyone ever had a roommate as bad as Herbert West?
Worse.
Yeah.
Worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were
I
you-
did it.
I was about to
Put your cat in the
build
fridge?
onto that, and I was like, that's not good. It's all true.
What is their name?
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
No,
depends. It
no, I'm not
depends
putting that
on
out in the
like
world.
what would be worse. Would setting the kitchen counter on fire be worse than killing your cats?
He brought
I
it
don't
back.
know. He did bring it back. He
And
was very
which of my
considerate.
cats does he kill?
Well,
Your favorite one.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want my favorite one killed.
Ryan, I do think that setting the counter on fire is probably better than murdering your animal.
Yeah,
could-
you can get a new counter.
I mean, I could. I mean, well, that's the thing. Well, we
I
were
don't necessarily want a new Dottie.
we were in a yeah. Well, I mean, you did bring it up to the point where you kind of I mean, I don't know.
I'm just saying, I think the answer is no. Like, we've not had it. But then that roommate does become your best friend.
I guess so. Can we? But here's the weird thing about that. His cat is dead. There's no mourning period for him. If your roommate comes like, "Hey, your cat's dead," and you're like, "What?" And then he brought it back to life, and you're like, "What the fuck?" There's no mourning period. He's still not like, "Hey, you fucking killed my cat." You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he would be so wowed by the cat coming back to life that he would just be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, I guess you did."
I mean,
Well, he
I
didn't
did-
have time. He didn't have time to react or mourn because he brought him back, and then the cat went fucking psycho.
I guess
That's true.
that's how they get out of it.
Yeah.
So you're
I
just
mean, I
panicked.
once did have a sort of a roommate that was just like an extended house guest, and I went out of town for 3 weeks, and he was watching the cat, and I came home. The cat wasn't dead, but I did have to put it to sleep the next day.
What?
Because I came home and this cat was like 50% of its body weight was like gone. Yeah, and
Oh, God.
yeah, that was what happened with that. Was I was on tour with Pauses, came home. It's like nobody thought to call me about this. I took the cat to the vet. I got the initial vet visit for free because he said, "No, you need to take this to this animal hospital. I'm not going to charge you." That's when I realized I'm not coming home with a cat that's alive because you don't give out free vet visits
No, that
unless
doesn't
you're coming home with a dead cat. So yeah, that happened.
Oh,
It was not great. Not a great day.
Yeah.
I've had better days.
you have.
I'm
had
still
this.
friends with the guys. I'm still friends with the guy. It's fine. He's a nice
Did
dude.
he not feed your cat?
He fed it. No, it had like some kind of like
It sounds like it got
medical
ill.
condition
Yeah.
that went unaddressed.
Yeah.
That was what happened.
Yeah.
Oh
But,
dear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because certainly if it was
man, the look of
systematic
horror
abuse,
on your two. I mean, it sucked, but it wasn't that bad. It's fine.
Wasn't your favorite cat?
So what we
I did love Chairman quite a
Transition
lot.
out of this chair. Oh God,
No.
Chairman.
Chairman.
well
was
he
pretty
well
great.
no the thing
He
is
was.
like Josh is demonstrating I guess like the cinematic absence of like animal empathy that we kind of
Yeah,
see in
yeah,
films like a fair amount
Yeah.
because
Especially cats. Man, dogs get all the love in movies.
Very
You'll
true.
get
Very
so
true.
upset about dead dogs, but they don't give a fuck about a dead cat.
Yeah.
You can kill a cat.
Which
Was
I
that-
Yeah,
personally
that's-
think is absurd.
yeah
'cause-
Marley and Me I mean
Oh, I'm
not
you can
watching
base
that.
you can base it or fucking
People get more upset over a cat than like a homeless person. You can kill a homeless person.
That's true.
People will be like, you kill a cat. 75% of the theater's out.
Huh. Yeah.
It's like American Psycho.
I love
they
a
made
good.
that choice.
I love a good cinematic hobo. They need to bring them back. Like I don't know why.
They are vastly underused.
They
at
are
this point.
underused.
Pull them out of the retirement.
Yeah, like trading places.
Quality
Yeah.
hobos out there. They're just
Terminator has
sitting
some
unused.
good quality
He is
hobos.
he is my
Yeah,
favorite
we're gonna talk
hobo.
about that.
Used to read bright light.
Fisher
Yeah,
King.
great.
Fisher King is full of them.
Fisher King's got a lot of good.
Yeah, it does.
Mr. Williams is a hobo in that movie.
Yeah.
And is that the political correct term?
No,
I don't think.
absolutely
It's
not.
it would be a homeless
Homeless
man or
person.
homeless person.
Yeah.
Has to be a homeless person. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
Disadvantaged human.
Yeah. Well, no,
I
I
feel
don't
like
think you said
hobos
that.
though is more of like it's a cartoonish thing that doesn't actually exist, but it brings to mind somebody who does it willfully.
Okay.
Like
a stick,
someone who
a
like
bandana.
yeah, they're
with
riding
some
the
cans
rails.
in
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
lifestyle
it's
choice.
lovable.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, you guys, I read that they used a real dead cat that was in the fridge.
Really?
Yeah.
I had heard that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the one in the fridge.
Fuck.
Did
See,
they
I
kill a
told
cat
you.
to do it though? They just obtained a
I
dead
did
cat.
not
That's-
read specifics.
Obtained is what I've heard.
I-
Okay,
yes, I don't-
that's fine.
I don't know. I saw that episode of Hoarders where that woman had like fucking
Oh,
25
yeah.
different cats.
Oh, made me so sad.
You know what I mean? Like, there's probably plenty of people out there who have like a spare cat in a fucking Ziploc bag that they could get to someone.
Yeah, I mean, I have an old
Um,
friend who he directed a short that involved a lot, like hundreds of dead rats.
What?
And he told me all about how he was able to obtain them.
Oh my god.
He
That
just
is
bought
also
them
very
from the pet
different
store
as well,
freeze
though.
dried
you
for
can buy
python.
them.
Yeah, you can.
or
Yeah, I
for
mean
snake eating.
they are very easy to obtain.
But yeah, he said that there was an issue when they defrosted though was that
Oh.
it smelled terrible. But somebody on set had the brilliant idea to use I feel like they used like peroxide or something to dehydrate them. It was wild. He said, yeah, the next day they were all just like these defrosted but like hard dead rats. It was like, yeah.
Wow, I really loved that story.
And side note to that story is that years later he was staying at my house when on a job here, and I had rats in my vents that were needing to be taken care of.
Oh my
and
God.
so I had a rat trap up there, and it woke me up in the middle of the night. Snap. I've never heard a rat scream, and this thing fucking lost its shit. Just screaming. And I didn't want to, like, touch it. And Max was there, and he's like, oh, I've fucking done this before. So he just, like, goes, he says, you got an old sock or something? Like, he didn't even want a glove. He just, like, grabbed it, got that motherfucker, and threw it away. And he's like, okay, all taken care of. I was like, thanks, Max.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Wonderful pets.
Well,
And
these rats
this
that
is-
we're dealing with, these
rats were not good pets.
They are feral
You didn't even give them a
rats.
chance. Could have been your best friend. Could have been a classic
Yeah.
Willard.
I'm not talking
Well,
about
like-
Ralph here. It's not
Well,
like,
the life
motorcycle mouse?
the life expectancy is
That
like
mouse
only
was
a year
rad.
for a rat anyway, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Seems
Same with
long.
hamsters and gerbils and stuff like that.
They last longer.
No, they
last
don't.
longer is a weird way to put that. Somehow that
God
feels
damn.
more insensitive than anything I
Yeah,
just said.
holy shit. It's like minimum viable product.
So I love a best friend movie. I love it when two characters come together and they become inseparable, best friends forever. And I think this is a
Like
situation.
Midnight Run.
Ugh, that movie is not as good as you say it is. Just saying.
I'm in the right company for it, though. I don't know yet.
You took your shot when you could.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Bunch of weirdos. When Dan and Herbert become best friends after fighting that cat, that's what I'm saying. Like, that is the moment that they become connected, and it's a really...
Through trauma, though.
But it's a weird
And
moment.
united purpose. It
I
sells
guess-
it sells him on the reanimation.
It does sell him on that, but it's like you have a horrible thing where you see this traumatic, horrific situation where he's reanimated your dead cat, probably after killing him, and then reanimates him again after they toss him against a wall and the cat basically explodes.
That's the fucked up part.
Oh, it's great. That little,
Yeah. I
do love that.
little
The little
splat
blood
that falls
splatter.
after.
I mean, that happens
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
When something gets thrown against the wall.
really, the only moment in that scene that I think is truly fucked up is when Herbert psychs him out, and he's like, wait, watch right there, and he's not. He starts laughing at him, like, got you, motherfucker! Like, right now, now's the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But the thing is that by the time that happens, and he's also encouraged to believe in the serum, is that we've already characterized him as a doctor who has prevented to save many of the lives that he's obviously tried to save in the operating room or in the doctor's office or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's constantly taking bodies to the morgue.
Well, they also establish early on that he has kind of an issue with that, where he's spending a little too much time trying to resuscitate that woman.
Yes.
And because I assume this is his residency, so that's got to be his, it's his boss, but, she's like, a good doctor knows when to quit. Which actually, that's Stuart Gordon's wife, by the way, that plays that one.
Is. Huh. But I don't think I think he's still in school. I don't think it's his residency. So I don't know.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
It's his third year.
Oh, it is. Because they're threatening to revoke his scholarship. That's right. Okay.
Which is like, why is he doing these things? Shouldn't he be studying?
Yeah,
I don't know what medical school's like, I gotta say.
They make it sound real hard. Maybe that's just it.
Yeah.
Do you get to actually try and resuscitate?
Scrubs. That's all. That's the extent of my
Poor Scrubs. What a big ding in the medical professions.
Yeah, so none of our moms watched General Hospital, I
guess not,
because if we did...
I worked on General Hospital.
Oh.
Is that true?
It's very true.
That's awesome.
I came to Universal for a week, and I got hired as a PA, which in General Hospital, that means doing every single thing. You're like, direct this unit, hold this line. It's not far from the truth.
When was this?
Oh, God, 2005? 6?
Okay.
It was 2005. Remember, it was 2005.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I had a crew shirt because they were here for a week.
Awesome.
It said General Hospital, 2005, Orlando, Florida. I was like, yeah.
You still have that shirt? Hope
it's
so.
Probably in a box.
Did they shoot like on the Universal backlot?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it wasn't like General Hospital goes out for a day to ride roller coasters?
No, it was like they were trying to be backlotty about it, kind of. It was very weird, but yeah.
Scrubs day out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Surgeon's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't have General Hospital back home, but we had ER.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, ER.
The Michael Crichton show.
Yeah.
The hunkiest bunch of hunks from the 90s.
Yeah.
Good, great.
Well, I don't know. I think, Laura knows I like that show to the point where I started watching it from the very beginning, like a year and a bit ago.
That's a great idea. I should do like a hard ER
It
rewatch.
is fucking
I was just
hard
too
to
young.
do, though. It's really difficult.
I mean, my friend Matt started watching Murder, She Wrote from the beginning.
Yes.
That was during when lockdown started.
Oh,
he was
my
like,
God.
what am I going to do? And I was like, there's something like 800 episodes.
Did he make it?
I think he
champion.
did finish it.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
mine
It's only been
was...
like 800 days. It's a solid average.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I watched all 800 of them with my gran at some point over the course of her lifetime. So I mean, yeah,
You could have probably
fine.
just seen a handful and had the impression.
Yeah.
You watched them all.
Well,
Like,
not
I've
only
seen
that,
this
she
one.
used to watch.
Have I?
She
Yeah,
used to
probably.
watch Murder, She Wrote, and also Diagnosis Murder.
Oh,
yeah.
with
Yeah.
what's his face?
The fucking Dick Van motherfucking
yes,
Dyke.
Dick Van.
Yeah.
Dyke.
Yeah.
Diagnosis murder.
Yeah.
That was like some of the
And,
earliest.
like in my mind, it was always a counterpart to Matlock, but they're very different.
They're very-
yeah,
but
they
in
are.
my
Yeah.
7-year-old mind or whenever that show was on,
yeah.
I was like, oh, Andy Griffith and Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
That's a buddy show waiting to happen.
Hey, wow, great. So I want to get back to their best friendship, which is what I was talking about before. Because we were talking about how through trauma, right? And so he throws the cat up against the wall.
Jesus Christ.
The cat explodes.
But he's more
has that
more
amazing-
motivated by the promise of the serum
Right. Okay.
and what it brings
It's
to
just-
his profession.
So bananas that he saw what the serum did to his cat, yet he's still 100% on board with the whole operation.
That's what I'm saying.
It's very strange. And he does it again, and he says that amazing thing. What does Herbert West say after they reanimate the cat again?
Well, he says because Dan says, he's like, no, you lowered his body temperature. He
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
really
yeah.
dead. He's like, well, do you agree he's dead now? And he picks it up and drops it. He says, do you agree it's dead now? He's like, it's got a broken back. Don't expect it to tango.
Yeah. It's a great line.
Yeah. And screeching puppet that can't really move because all of its fucking bones are broken.
Guts
I
are
like
hanging out.
that bit where they find the dead cat in his slightly open fridge. as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
open.
slightly open. Yep.
In his room, and they're like, "Well, you could have wrote me a note." And he's like, "What would the note have said? Like, cat dead, details later." You know?
Which I saw that as somebody had as a tattoo, as like a post-it note.
Wow, that's
that
great.
had- I was like, man, I wish I would have thought of that. 'Cause
Yeah,
I would have that
that's
on me right
excellent.
That's
now.
perfect.
And
I
I still
love
may
that.
just steal it. Like
Yeah.
that's something I really need to
Yeah.
happen.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I think that's perfect. Yes,
Man.
I think that's perfect.
That's someone that you could be a best friend with.
Yeah.
I don't know. End of the day, we get to see old Jeffrey, our friend Jeffrey. He just like chews at the scenery, and he's just like fighting a fucking reanimated cat with a croquet bat. That's all I'm happy seeing.
Such a good Halloween costume, you guys.
2
Oh,
seconds.
yeah.
Such a good Halloween costume.
2 seconds.
for Spooky Penis Month.
There we go.
I love that. I don't know. Like, he's a perfect mad scientist, mad doctor, and best friends after this nonsense. And they just jump on board with this bullshit just from here on out. Like, it's the two of them,
the train
tag
has left
team
the
forever. Yeah. And he knows how bad it is. And that's the thing. Like, he doesn't seem to ever want to, like, change up the serum. He's just like, I just need fresher bodies.
Yeah.
Every single time he's like, it's not fresh enough, which is the same thing he says in the stories as well.
Yeah.
Well, because he's hard. When he's we get introduced to Dr. Hill at this point, the villain of the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
They really do establish that the whole brain death and that's what he's trying to narrow down on is the how
6
long
to 12 minutes.
6 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
When he's breaking his pencils in his class.
I was going to bring that up. So weird. I love it. Such this very strange thing that just
Mr.
like
West,
stops
I
the movie.
suggest you get yourself a pen.
Yeah.
Exactly. Great cornball line.
Yeah, he's so combative. Why are you feeding? We're all here to learn, and you're feeding
drivel.
him this.
He uses the word drivel,
Drivel.
which
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a word from home. Drivel.
Wonderful.
Love it. Stop talking drivel, Ryan. Okay. No, well, I mean, yeah. Well, Hill's got the dead man's handshake, as we see.
Yes, when he's
He's at dinner, yeah.
When he shakes Dan's hand at the dinner table,
Yeah.
he does that like weak...
It's deliberately dismissive, so it's kind of like
can't-
it's like you kiss this hand. It's kind of very limp. It's a
You
dead
know how
man's
people
handshake.
like expect a lady's handshake to be back
Yeah,
in the
yes.
It's
And I
very
refer,
limp.
yeah, and I obviously don't want to come across as this kind of masculine asshole, but I've you shake hands in your lifetime, and I remember once this is one of the more horrific things I've ever done. But I remember, I met a friend of a friend, and I shook his hand, and it was like shaking the hand of a skeleton. It was like the slightest, softest handshake. And it's like you were like holding on to nothing but air, but you knew there was substance there.
Turns out he was on chemo.
Jesus, Josh.
He was perfectly healthy. I will put that out there. Well, I don't know. I mean, I can just demonstrate. So, Ty, put your hand out.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, see, it's strange,
it's
right?
fish.
Yeah, see, it's like there's
Like
nothing
fish,
there.
Yeah.
You know
Gross.
what I mean? And it's just like there's just no grip there.
Yeah.
I knew the guy had some grip. Like there was something there. Like he had plenty of. I was gonna say jokes, but it wasn't very funny.
It's a thing that often happens to women, though, where men will go to shake your hand, and they expect a woman to kind of curve their hand, and so they'll, when the man goes in for the handshake, let's do it again,
Okay.
they'll come in like this.
Oh, okay.
And kind of like grab the inside of your hand,
Yeah.
and it's
Yep.
and I'm like, why are you shaking my hand like that? Like
Yeah,
I'm a
that's weird.
dainty.
Yeah.
Like I'm a dainty lady.
As if they're going to pull it up and kiss it or something weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just treat it
Just
all the
shake my
same. Just have it
hand.
there. Just going nice and
I've yelled
firm.
at people for doing
taut
that to me.
arm. Your forearms like fucking
Yeah.
firm. Just shake it nice and
You gotta
hard.
assert dominance.
Yeah.
But it's
Or
like
at least-
competition.
Yeah, but hopefully, I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Who's the real man in
Jesus.
this situation?
Yeah.
I just shook his hand and he broke my arm.
We're coming up to a pivotal scene, which is the first of 2 penis scenes in this film.
Yes.
At around 51 minutes, where they actually get to attempt to reanimate a human body. And it's tragic and wonderful.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's so bloody. I love it.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember everyone's name. So Barbara Crampton's on-screen father is not happy with Abbott as a sewer. And they've already found out about the experiments and everything that's kind of going on, and
their friendship.
leading into well, basically, like, I mean, West Combs's character is he's being blacklisted because he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, he starts at this school. He's been there, 3 days? And he's
Pretty
already,
much.
like, killing animals, and he's got his special serum, and...
Why is he even going to school? He wants access to the lab? Like,
That's all he
Yeah,
wants.
it's really
Equipment. He had nothing more to learn.
Exactly.
Access to the freshest bodies.
Yeah.
The most freshest stuff. So they find this super fresh bodybuilder, essentially. And...
the fucking tank. The guy who's a human tank.
We're going to talk about that guy?
Oh, I got it too.
Okay.
You can do it. You're the
No.
guest.
You have a tattoo.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the first, so the man that we're talking about, who's the first person reanimated in the morgue, is Peter Kent, who was Arnold Schwarzenegger's stunt double on 14 different films.
Yay!
Starting with The Terminator, all the way through Jingle All the Way. In
Wow,
96.
okay.
I love that.
That was
I
the
had no
exit.
idea.
He's like, I'm out on a high note.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that is. I mean, that is a high note.
So, and it makes sense. He's massive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, once you know that and you watch it, you're like, yeah, that guy is kind of a fucking ringer for Schwarzenegger.
Hell yeah.
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 Well, there's photos of him on I think like the Predator set as well, like him and like they're shaking hands and like hugging and stuff like that. Like they are literally the exact same size.
Oh my gosh, are they best friends too?
I think they actually were.
I love it.
No, legitimately. Like, I think they were.
I love a
like,
tale of friendship.
Yeah.
Guys.
It's like friend / bodyguard / double. They were like,
Aww.
yeah. No, it actually does. I kind of want that movie.
Yeah.
That's the biopic we deserve.
Yeah,
Indeed.
he's still living though, right? He's still around.
They can
I
play
believe
themselves
so.
then.
No, yeah. I believe he is, but I haven't looked it up in a couple years. I don't know if
I haven't checked up on Peter Kent.
Yeah.
All right.
Someone do a wellness check on Peter Kent.
Well, look, let's just assume the glass is
And this
full.
biopic ends with Jingle All the Way. Oh my god, it's perfect.
It's so wonderful.
I think Jingle All the Way is okay.
He is alive, you guys.
It's fine.
He
Okay,
is
rest easy.
just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Godspeed.
Well, I'm assuming if he's built like Arnold, he'll last like Arnold.
What if they dropped that at the exact same time?
Aww.
Well, they
Like
would
the
never miss
Notebook?
each other. Yeah.
So this
Well,
reanimated
that's how they
corpse-
figure out who's going to be a stunt double is like when the babies are born at the exact same time. I'm assuming they just slop it onto the floor. Yeah, they went, there he is. There he is. That's him there. Make sure he's ready.
This could be like the new story of twins.
True.
But they're
True.
actually
But
twins.
then, then it's like it's a little bit too literal.
That's true. Well, no, they were actually twins. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they were twins.
They were twins. Yeah, come on, Laura.
I'm really sorry.
Don't take it away.
Sisters?
So this reanimated corpse, okay?
So
he tries
good.
the
So fucking
serum,
fantastic.
which he knows
The
is
dead
all.
meatball.
Obviously, this experiment doesn't go well, as is typical.
It depends.
I mean, it works.
It works.
It worked.
And it he does reanimate. It's just he does cause a little bit of chaos.
He kicks down a fucking freezer door. Like a
So
walk-in
good.
freezer door off
Yeah.
the hinges.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Crushes his
the dean
crushes the
No.
fucking thing.
and basically smashes all of his teeth out
Yeah.
and proceeds. This man's naked as well because he was in the morgue,
Yep.
which is where the penis is just there existing.
It is flopping around.
flopping around like
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah.
And
I feel like it would have been erect, but I guess they weren't going for realism in this movie.
which is interesting because they brought all the cast members to the morgue and then they had photos of oh god, what's it called when you cut open a body?
Cadavers or
Autopsy?
Autopsies. They had
Yeah.
autopsy pictures given him to the special effects people, going, "This is what we want it to look like." And the special effects guys are like, "Ooh, I don't want this." So, yeah, an erect penis,
I mean, I feel like I'm right.
No, I think-
Everything's
yeah,
just
it feels
going
like- yeah.
full throttle
Yeah.
with that guy.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess it's
I mean, he is
Yeah.
reanimated, so he's
Yeah.
probably full of adrenaline.
yeah.
There is such a thing as
Everything's
a
pumping at a million miles
there is
an
such a
hour.
thing as a death erection. It's
Sure.
like people who get like
We've all seen Clerks.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like people who get severe neck injuries. They just get unstable kind of blood flow, and they end up getting erections at the same time. They can't move, but they have an erection. There's nothing they can do about it.
It's like sleep paralysis.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Sleep erections.
Yeah, it's like if you get paralyzed, you get something.
I only get erections when I see my sleep paralysis demon anyway.
Another story of action.
When he's
scared.
When
So
the demon's sitting on
anymore?
my lap, or at least I hope it's a demon sitting on my lap. He fucking kicks down the door and crushes him on the other
I
side.
know, it's rough, and he just jumps on it, doesn't
And
he?
that's
Just jumps right on his face.
It's purposely brutal.
Yeah, because I can't. I mean, how many times have I seen the movie? Maybe like, I don't know, 10 or 15 times or something at this point. But I don't remember the crunching of when he jumps on it to be so clear.
It's all in his teeth.
Yeah. Oh, his fucking teeth are all fucked up. They're all like tiny little like slathers that are in his mouth still.
Little Willem
I
Dafoe
noticed some of this kind
nuggets.
of stuff when I finally bought the Blu-ray a couple years ago, because
Right.
I had the same double disc DVD in the green case, and there are those
Clear
little
as day.
details that are amazing.
There's a couple of different versions of the movie, and I feel like the version we watched today, which we watched on Shudder, because we don't have Re-Animator on DVD or Blu-ray.
Not yet.
Well, no, I think I did have a version of it at some point, but no idea where it is. So I kind of feel like some of these scenes and some of these moments are elongated in the unrated cut, which I feel like, judging by the amount of research we've done on all the rest of the films that we've covered on this podcast, tend to be the European releases.
That's technically true. Those in the director's cut, those gore scenes are longer, but it's actually a shorter cut of the total running time of the film.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
It's a tighter cut.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And then there's an integral version that they put where it's the unrated and the R, and they put the scenes that are in the R that aren't in the unrated, and they put them together. And it's like 103 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
That's my personal favorite version.
I don't know. The longer the better, I feel like.
Heyo.
Personally.
I'm trying to think of what else to say about this scene. It's wild. There's so many
He
things that
fucking
happen.
picks him up. He throws him against the wall. He does a winter. Was that a Virgin Spring? And fucking just throws him against the wall. Everything's crashing around, and obviously, Herbert West has to get in there and just fucking drill him in the spine.
But can we talk about that weird
Bone saw.
two-handed punch that he's doing? He's like, bleh, bleh. He's taking he's not just punching the guy or grabbing his hair. He's taking these weird two-handed axe chops, with that big flat sound.
The thing is, if you use both of your arms at the same time, it is twice as strong.
False.
That's science.
False.
It's the reason why in the fight between Kirk and Spock. That's why.
Oh, yes.
That's why.
Fist around.
That's why it works.
Anyway, it's just odd. So interject. But yes,
Of course, it's odd.
It's very odd.
It looks weird and strange.
It does.
It's like you're swinging a baseball bat, except you don't have a baseball bat.
Yeah, and the big sound effect they put under it brings it even more. That's weird. Why is that happening?
But I don't know. This is kind of also obviously with the death of this reanimated individual. They're not zombies in this movie, where it's you destroy the head or the brain or whatever, and they stop moving. In this, I'm assuming it's just get rid of the vital organs and they'll just die as usual.
Normal.
Because technically, when the head is removed, it's still alive.
Yeah.
To be fair.
That's in the story. All of the corpses that he's reanimating, they'll either escape in the story, and they're just running around kind of like Frankenstein's monster. How he was hunting him. He was always worried that he was going to come back and kill him.
Yeah.
Or he would just kill them with a gun. He would just shoot them.
Yeah, because this is a kind of...
It never went well.
Yeah, because I always... This film was always pitched to me, or at least the idea of Re-Animator was always pitched to me as if it was kind of like a zombie flick, and it really isn't.
No.
It's kind of like a weird hybrid between, I guess, a rising from the dead idea, plus, obviously, the Frankenstein's monster idea, which I feel like is more prevalent in, obviously, Bride of Re-Animator.
Oh, yeah, well, he's got a god complex.
Yeah, he's constructing something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Well, I remember, was it Yuzna that said he wanted it to be, oh man, what was it? The production values of The Howling with, oh my god, what was the other thing? Like the body count of something else.
Oh, I've actually,
Right.
Oh, I just thought it was such a great quote. Now I can't remember it. Oh, Evil Dead 2. It was like, what's the body count and gore of Evil Dead 2 with the production values of The Howling.
Nice.
I was like, okay, it's very specific.
Huh.
He knows what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what Yuzna wants, Yuzna gets. Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right. Yeah, when he brings out that bone saw thing.
Yeah.
I love a bone saw.
Yeah.
Right through the chest.
Yeah.
Bone saw is
Ready!
I mean,
Well, I
a lot
guess-
of stuff happens here as well. I mean, the dean is killed.
Yep.
And that's, you know,
Kind of a
Megan's-
little shocking, like early
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, it's 'cause
Yeah.
it's pretty
Well,
early
they,
on.
Yeah.
They kill him, and
Not
then
gonna kill
obviously Herbert
her
West
dad,
has
yeah.
the fantastic idea of being like, he is the freshest
He's
corpse
the-
we have.
He is the
So
sweetest,
Well, that's-
freshest body I've ever seen.
That's a good moment too, because that's when you really see his just how amoral he is about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where he's like,
Sure,
"Do we
care.
see there's no time to just discuss this.
Yeah.
This is the freshest body we have. We're doing
Yeah.
it. Like, there's no moment of him hesitating.
Have you ever seen a human with a decapitated head trying to maneuver around?
I love this movie so much. It's so fucking good.
So is this when Dr. Hill comes... Does he come over to West's house with all the experiments? Is that when that happens and he's in his
Yeah.
lab in
Yeah.
the basement and he's looking at all of his
But
data
it's also
and his
it's also
notes?
coupled with the fact that obviously that Dean gets arrested and he's acting erratically.
Yep, he's in a straight jacket.
They've got him a straight jacket. He's got the
Padded
fucking,
room.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, fuck it. Hill's got an office, and he's got his own padded room connected to the office.
That is strange. He has a two-way mirror in his
Well, we
office.
Well,
haven't
because he
really-
said...
Oh,
Yeah, good.
We haven't really addressed yet also that he's developing this laser technology to mind control.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
So
this
that's
is
a whole subplot that's actually, it was years before I realized that's what was going on.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's a subplot that is not included in the R-rated version of the film,
Yes.
but is integrated into the end of the film.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Because he does mind control all of the corpses.
Yeah, he like
Yeah.
hypnotizes them.
Right.
Because
Yes.
he's doing hypnotism at some point, like concurrently with the laser, or
something.
Because none of that stuff.
a little vague.
None
Yeah,
of that
oh, yeah.
stuff that we watched today had any of that stuff included, other than the fact that he's drilling holes into the heads of dead bodies, which is pretty much what he's doing at the beginning of the film when we first meet him.
Well, and he's always talking about how he's found the part of the brain that controls free will, and so he's like, that's probably part of that mind control thing, where
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
he's drilling that
Yeah.
out of them,
Yeah,
drilling
lobotomy.
that part of the free will out of the brain.
Yes.
That's why, like, the dean was lobotomized.
Yeah.
So there is that scene where Dr. Hill is going to try to steal Herbert West's
Oh, it was research.
research. And in an incredible decision that he made to grab a snow shovel
Yep.
and smash...
Hill knew Gruber.
Yeah.
He knew the work of Gruber.
Oh, correct.
And for whatever reason, they did not agree, and West was working with Gruber. So they're all kind of interconnected in one way or another.
It's a small medical world. But yeah, I mean, there's that gruesome moment where he batters Hill in the back of the head with that snow shovel and then decapitates him.
Fucking love it so much. So
That
good.
was part of the original story where they were in the Great War. And of course, Herbert West wanted to be a surgeon in the war so he could have like a fresh supply of bodies all the time. And his old professor, who was also a doctor and a surgeon, was in a helicopter or a plane crash in the war. This is in the story, not in the movie, right? So they bring in the body and it's decapitated. And so he tries to reanimate the body other than the head, but then it reanimated both. And so then a bomb dropped on the tent where they were doing the surgery. So they had no idea what happened to the body. But eventually it comes back in the very last story where he has the body is reanimated and fully aware of everything that's happening. and he makes himself a wax head
Okay.
in the story.
Okay.
Got it.
And they lead a revolution to basically disembowel Herbert West in the story. It's kind of amazing.
That's fun.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's where this came from, because they did put all the stories together. So you
Mm-hmm.
have eventually Hill, who is reanimated, where his head's reanimated, his body's reanimated, and they're working together.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he puts on that model head that he had on his desk and like straps it to his body.
Well, he's trying to get past the security guard.
Yeah,
he's trying to,
yeah.
he's trying to,
Guard,
he
yeah.
because he
But-
puts the surgical mask on too, so he thinks he
But
can.
here's the thing. It's obviously played for laughs.
Yes.
This is a
because of
comedy.
course I'm like, you could put your own head back on.
That
Like-
wouldn't be funny though.
Yeah, but
That wouldn't be funny,
It's
yeah.
only funny when it's like half
Also,
a diorama.
Also, I kind of feel like they're working within the means of their special effects budget as well. So I mean,
I think that was the most expensive thing, was that head. Like dealing with that
Probably.
head.
Yeah, as far as I don't think you're actually wrong there, because I'm pretty sure I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I like too
Yeah.
that there is a security guard at this morgue, and right away they establish that even the security guard doesn't understand why he's there.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Where he
yeah.
jokes immediately, "No one's trying to break in, and nobody's breaking out."
He's
And
always
that
taking
might
coffee breaks.
Yeah.
also be the only issue I have with this film, is that there's this long hallway. It's relatively quite narrow. That's where they put the desk
Yeah.
that he's
Yeah.
checking,
Yeah,
and then
doesn't
it's
make
obviously
sense.
just adjacent to where the door is.
There's a similar thing in Jason Goes to Hell too. I don't know. Maybe this is just a horror comedy thing.
Oh yeah.
Just doesn't make sense why it's there.
Yeah.
Well, I like the idea that every time someone comes down, he's just desperate to talk to someone, so he has like a joke to say.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I need to get a coffee.
He's adorable. He's really great during the whole end sequence as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, he analyzes the situation. He's just like, I'm not getting paid enough for this. And he just
Yeah.
fucking books it out of there.
He appropriately responds to the
Yeah.
chaos.
And he's like, nope.
This section of the film,
Uh-huh.
where we have Dr. Hill's reanimated body and reanimated head in a
Yes.
tray. Okay?
Uh-huh.
This is so disgusting and so memorable that I don't even know how to put it into words properly. I'm trying to remember the sequence of events as well, about how we also get Barbara Crampton in the room. I'm trying to remember.
Well, the thing is, Herbert.
Oh, the dad comes.
He uses the mind control to
He
get
uses
her
mind control,
father
Oof.
to
Yep. Yeah, that's where we
obtain
see
her.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
first time we see the mind control.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Because he wants to fuck.
he wants,
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
The reanimated dad Dean throws her on the table, or she's like knocked out, right?
Yeah, she's knocked out.
She's knocked out at this
Yeah.
point.
Rips her shirt off,
Yeah.
rips her panties off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and straps her down to this table rather loosely.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's
I
just
love that insert.
yeah.
It's like, noted.
Yeah. And then Hill can try to have his way with this woman.
In the best way possible.
Ah!
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh. Using...
Go for it. Go for it, Josh. Come on.
holding his own severed head. And it's interesting that he is being relatively polite given the situation.
What?
Because
Yeah, what?
he could just go to thrusting. He could just jam it home. But no, he's gonna...
Oh my god.
He performs cunnilingus on her, which I think is a nice gesture to start.
Does he actually do that in the version you watched?
Yeah,
Oh, he doesn't do it in
it's
the
not
other one.
extended, but it's definitely what he's doing down there.
Yeah.
He doesn't
It's
get
brief,
there in the
Yeah, I
other
mean, he's-
version.
You
He
see
is
more.
interrupted.
Yeah, there's more
Yeah.
shots in
Yeah.
the longer version of the movie. Yeah.
Ew.
This kind of brings me to a funny anecdote.
Oh, okay.
So,
Nice.
the first time I ever watched this movie was at the early days of Netflix, when it was still DVD in the mail.
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right. So, I wanted to watch it. I had read about it, and so I ordered it. Comes in the mail. Open it up. I'm at home. I'm 16, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately, my fairly Christian mother sees it. She's like, oh my gosh, I saw that in theaters with your dad. I haven't seen it since then. And she suggests, it's key here, she suggests that we watch it together.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah. And something interesting about her is that she was relatively conservative, but she always kind of like secretly really liked cheesy horror movies, like especially like 80s, gory comedies. She like never she's like always had like don't tell anybody at church sort of thing, but she was into that shit. Like anything too gross. Like she wasn't like not Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but like Freddy, was her jam. So, and we're fine. The whole movie, like, we're okay. And again, I'm like 16. I'm not a little kid.
Yeah.
Well, that scene comes up, and I have never seen a look like that on my mother's face.
Ooh, boy.
Just, like, I think that her knee-jerk was to blame me. But then she processed it real quickly, and then it was instantly shame, all while trying to get the remote to work, to turn it off, and she couldn't. So she's just mashing fucking buttons.
Oh my God.
Just can't handle it. But what's really funny is that a similar thing happened, like, not 2 weeks prior, that I ordered the uncut version of Requiem for a Dream because I had only seen the R-rated version.
Oh boy.
When I got that in the mail, she says to me, oh, I've read about that movie. I heard it's really upsetting. I had only seen the R-rated version. So I suggested that we watch it together.
Oh, no.
And a very similar series of events happened at the ass-to-ass scene, but it was my fault. And so I held that shit over her head, being like, well, I guess we're square now, aren't we, Mom?
You know what I read that it was a rumor that David Gale's wife divorced him after she saw the movie and saw that scene. That she couldn't deal with that scene, and she was so horrified.
Fuck's sake.
That she divorced him.
Oh,
Well,
I had heard that like she like had a visible reaction in the theater. Like she really hated it. But I
think
hadn't
it was
heard that.
it was probably just a joke around the crew. That like,
Well,
she
that's
left
like
ya.
that. Well, that's like that recent story with Arnold, and I think he's still married to Maria Shriver, where he lied about not doing the sex scenes in Conan, but then he did.
Yeah.
And she's not happy about it, even to this day, from hearing about it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he
so
didn't
long
even,
ago.
he didn't really fuck that witch. I mean, he just kind of,
I can't imagine
Then he
being
cut her
upset if
fucking
you're
head
married
off.
to an actor.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That seems
Yeah.
a little silly to
Well,
me.
you have to be honest. That's the thing.
I do agree with that. If that was the actual
Yes.
issue, but I don't know. It seems a
Yeah.
little silly to lie about it in the first place.
Yeah, well, it's
everyone
because- yeah.
involved seems pretty insecure.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's probably some other indiscretions that Arnold is not disclosing that
Right.
Well, and he's
You know.
already been uncovered for plenty of them.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
He's got a few.
So
extra
maybe David
days.
Gale was just fucking everybody prior to that, and this was just
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that cocksmith,
Oh my gosh.
David Gale.
Yeah. I mean, he's got those receding gums, that's for
Oh,
sure.
man.
Yeah. Those big ass
Hair,
fucking
my
teeth.
God, that hair that looks simultaneously soft and hard at the same time.
Yeah.
This leads right into the final penis scene, which is a penis extravaganza at the end of this film.
Yeah,
That
bedlam.
totally.
Cocktoberfest.
You just blew my mind right now.
That's what the series should have been called
Yeah.
for these fucking
Spooky
movies.
Penis Month, I'm an idiot. Cocktoberfest. We're changing it next year. This is it.
I want a
This
little
is our
asterisk.
Yeah.
With a-
our very last.
I do want
Christmas.
to point out that on the list of names for things that we were going to do, Cocktoberfest was on there.
Was it?
Yes, and you didn't like it.
I like Spooky
Ah,
Penis
Should
Month.
Yeah.
we record some like wild lines of saying Cocktoberfest so that you could just put it over Spooky Penis Month? Like you just go back and be like, that never happened.
Yeah,
What are you
but the
talking
thing
about?
is, like,
It was always
she
Cocktober.
can record them. I'm going to leave them where they are.
It doesn't matter. We're changing it.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't.
love that.
Well, I mean, that's fine. You have to give credit to Josh Martin. So, like, every
Thank
time
you,
you say it,
Josh.
it's like, yeah,
My
no,
inflection
yeah.
is what sold it. Clearly, just reading it wasn't enough. You needed the enthusiasm.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, I remember the reaction just being, nope. So I
I'm
was
really
like,
disappointed in my past self. The end scene is absolute and utter mayhem,
Anarchy, yes.
where you see Hill's mind control go up, and all of the corpses get up because everyone's there now because we've got Megan
Yeah.
was saved.
Well,
off the table.
all of the corpses that we were like, oh, I wonder what they look like that we'd been introduced to before. We finally get to see.
And
they're all real naked.
Yeah, everyone's
Everyone's
Oh, they're all
naked.
completely naked. Yeah,
And these aren't like, I mean, all bodies are beautiful, blah blah blah. But these aren't like attractive, stereotypically Hollywood attractive people.
Yeah, I was kind of curious
kinda
where
love
they
that.
got these guys from.
Yeah.
Like an immortalized this beautiful
fuck.
body.
I do the thing that gets me about this moment when they all wake up. The one that always gets me is the guy who's like pulling the shit out of his fucking mouth.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
He makes his presence known quickly.
yeah, and I'm not even too sure what they are. I'm assuming it's like medical cabling, but I always thought it was just like his fucking inner throat that he's just like pulling out.
Well, he has.
Oh.
I thought he had guts and stuff hanging out as well.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think we
some
do
of
get
them
A
way
lot
out
of
of
gut
it.
work, a lot of
Yeah.
intestines
Yeah.
going on in this
Well,
scene.
we watched it this time. I mean, I guess like I'd seen this sequence like God knows how many times, and I think when we were vetting this film in particular for these moments, because again, I was just like, I mean, we could do Reanimator, and you're like, what? And I'm like, no, we could do Reanimator because there's fucking naked people in Reanimator. There's loads of
Totally
dicks
forgot.
in like Reanimator, and you're like, what are you joking? And we only watched that bit where he crushes the guy with the door, and then the ending sequence of Reanimator, where it's just cocks aplenty.
Cockapalooza.
Yeah. So we get past the Cockapalooza, and then there's the part where Dean he comes to his senses, or as far that he can come to his senses, and he takes Hill's head and he crushes it with his bare hands.
Yeah, he's trying to protect his daughter. He finally, after her screaming the whole time,
Yeah.
he starts fighting back all the naked corpses.
Yes. I mean, it's my favorite bit in the movie, probably. It's
Yeah,
where he crushes it, yeah.
Mushes his eyeballs.
Yep.
Just a lot of eyeball work in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of popping eyeballs.
Yes. So he
Some good
pushes
stuff.
his eyes into his fucking head, and then he crushes it like a little water balloon, and then he throws it at the wall, and then we see the reaction of the security guard, who's then like, yes, no, I'm
gonna go
done.
now.
I'm going home.
I love his magazine, Boudoir.
Yes.
Such a great. If it was never a magazine, like it should. If it was never a real skin mag, it absolutely should be. Somebody
wonderful.
Boudoir is such. It just feels just the right amount of trashy.
Yeah.
Like a Circle K in a well lit neighborhood.
Right.
It's like, this is riding a fine line here.
Oh my god. It's there's so many bodies. There's that whole thing where Herbert's like wrapped up with that dude's intestines.
So this is,
As well.
yeah. So
Like
this
the
is where
It does turn like
reanimated.
dead alive for like one moment.
yeah. It was kind
I
of,
like that it's not just the body, it's not the head, it's not the hands.
Yeah.
It's like
Everything
single
is
piece
animated
of
now.
you
Yeah.
has a
Well,
mind of its own.
yeah. It kind of it becomes a little bit more Aldrich and kind of falls more into that kind of Lovecraftian stuff where
Yeah,
it's
true.
like almost otherworldly, which I quite adore
Hell
that
yeah.
moment for, because it's like the bright light coming out of it, and it's kind of just like, yeah, you're gonna pass into another dimension through this man's chest, which I think's fucking amazing. But then we don't really see that stuff until much later on in like From Beyond, which I think is his follow-up film after.
That was
It is.
Follow
Yeah,
this
it's
one,
right after,
yeah.
yeah.
Where
Love
kind of
them,
Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton kind of switch characters too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no dick in it. I wish that
There's-
there
I know,
was.
there's no
And it's a
dick, yeah.
movie where you would fully expect
Oh,
to see
100%.
yeah.
100%.
It's too sexy. It's got all the leather work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, really, Barbara Crampton shines in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
But a
that's
dick
when
does
boys
not.
become men.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, you probably.
I think
Yeah.
I became a man too.
Yeah. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a really soft spot for Reanimator, so I feel like Reanimator, just for it's a little bit more hokey and a little bit more ropey, and I kind of appreciate that a little bit more, because From Beyond, it feels incredibly polished.
I
the
actually
most
think
part.
From Beyond is a bit meaner too. I mean,
Yeah, it's
There's
not
a-
it's not as overly fun at points, so
Yeah.
it does feel a
It's
little.
a lot wetter. I want to talk about the very last reanimated body that's chasing them down, that's chasing down Dan and Megan as they're trying to get to the elevator, is naked as well. I don't know.
Well,
they're all naked.
Well, he's the guy who got the shotgun to the face. Yeah. That's that one. Yeah, that's because when they label them all, he's the one. But he just, again, I don't know how he's able to do it, but Abbott just kind of pushes the wound further into his head, and he just kind of kills him.
Well, he also chops off his arm.
Yeah,
that's true.
He got the axe.
No, it's not. That's a different. No, that's a different guy.
Oh,
no, that's a different guy. Yeah, it's a different character. Yeah, he doesn't get up again. There's a guy who gets the shotgun to the face, and then there's the one who's like the horrendous burn victim, who's like all burned on one side.
Oh,
That's
okay.
two different reanimated. It's reanimateds. Yes.
okay.
I do love that they would make use of like the fact that they were building sets and do these like not always perfectly executed or timed, but long dolly shots.
Yeah.
They'll like come out of an elevator, go down to the morgue, go into the morgue, and then like come down the hallway at the end towards the elevator to get the kids in there. Like
That's one of my.
it's some of the few like big like cinematic flourishes where you're kind of like, oh, he's doing something.
Yeah. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite shots is when he gets that axe and then the camera follows him tripping right down that fucking hallway to cut that guy's arm off.
Yeah,
it's cool.
opens the.
But he doesn't get there quick enough.
No,
her fucking neck's all fucked up. Fucking crushed her larynx or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think they tried hard enough. I don't think they tried hard enough to save her. Just saying. And also, he starts giving her CPR instead of mouth to mouth, like she needed to breathe because she was choked, and he starts trying to like.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's doing chest compressions.
Terrible doctor.
But she needs
Maybe he should flunk
air to her throat. But if her throat is crushed, obviously you're not getting air in there. But he never once in all of the times was trying to give anyone mouth to mouth resuscitation.
I mean, he was also only a medical student, and he was surrounded by. He was surrounded by...
CPR was the next day.
He's downstairs in that morgue dealing with dead people.
I do love how fast Stuart Gordon's wife is Barbara Gordon. He's just kind of like, call her. Like, you can't count to 3, and she's like, she's fucking dead.
Yeah.
You know what I really love about Barbara Gordon is her fucking glasses.
Oh my god,
They're just these thick Coke bottle. Oh, they're so good. They're so cool.
Yeah, they're not those RoboCop glasses.
I love her glasses as well. Oh, she's hot. She's got it. That chick from RoboCop.
Yeah, she was doing all right back in 1980.
I've brought a picture of that girl from RoboCop into the eye doctors, and I go, "Can I get?
Give me this."
I'm like, "Can I get these glasses?" And they look at me like I'm a maniac, and they go, "We don't do that. They're like, you can find some vintage ones and bring them in. But we don't sell those." And I was like, "Ugh, she's dead."
Is she?
Until next time. No one ever learns their lesson.
No.
Over and
well,
over
that's the
and
thing.
over
It's
again.
all for the advancement of science.
But
that's
they're
what
not
this
even.
whole...
They're not making notes.
Meg's reanimation is not for the advancement of science. That's
True.
pure hubris. That he's so sad that he'll love of his life that he's known for a semester or whatever.
Yeah, they're gonna get married.
They're fuck buddies at best. Let's be real. They're in college. That doesn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be divorced in 10 years. That's probably true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But but no, he's so.
It's okay when your bride comes up to the altar and she's just foaming at the mouth and she can't say words. It's perfectly okay.
Yikes.
But yeah, no, he injects her with the serum and she comes back alive again.
Well, you don't know.
Maybe.
She screams.
Well, she screams.
Maybe she
That's
does.
the final
Scream
shot.
goes.
Yeah.
Fades to black except for the solution in the syringe. The syringe goes down. Scream. Then that classic, stolen score.
Yeah.
That glow stick juice.
Oh my
That
god,
holy-
it's so
holy
obvious
original.
he's not sticking it in her neck, by the way. Like,
Oh no, they never. You never
like,
see it. Go
yeah,
in
like
anything.
they've done it a little better, but that one is so. It's like, oh man, they're just burning out of like the last of their film. Like, shit, we have enough for one more take. You know what I mean?
right.
It's like you could have done that better.
Yeah.
And I guess you're supposed to think that Jeffrey Combs is dead.
Yeah, I
They're
guess.
they imply it.
The thing is,
it's heavily implied.
The thing is, like in classic horror fashion, if you don't see them die, they're not dead.
Yeah.
And in this movie, if you do see them die, they're not dead either.
They're not dead either. No, they can be brought back.
I gave him life.
Well, we didn't talk about the glow stick juice.
I mentioned
is
it just
basically
a
all that
second ago,
was,
but in
yeah.
a passing comment that, yes,
Yeah.
it's glow stick juice that is the serum.
Easily one of the simplest and most effective special effects on a film I've ever seen.
Barbara Crampton's like tan and taupe sweater she's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Wow. Just the coziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. And I like that they kind of
Yeah.
allude to it in Drew Barrymore and Scream. It's a very similar
You think
sweater.
so?
I think
You
it's,
think
I
that
think
is?
it's similar enough.
In my memory, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
I don't
is.
know. I think that it's enough that somebody in wardrobe on Scream was like kind of giggling to themselves.
Yeah, all right.
I don't think it was an intent. I don't think it was necessarily into the script or something that was a decision by Wes Craven.
Sure.
I think that there was somebody in wardrobe on Scream.
I remember
that
hers being more just like straight cabled and not just so constant.
I
Fluff,
could be wrong,
but I mean, aesthetically, it is.
Yeah.
It
It
was
does,
not at the time.
it does kind of ring back. I mean, it's the dress of the innocent.
Yeah, it's true. Big,
Yeah.
comfy, loose.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Unsexual.
Well, that's what you say.
I mean, she's
Innocent.
a pretty sexual being in that movie for being so innocent.
I mean,
true.
we're talking about the conventions of the horror genre. Like, I mean, yeah, they are.
Yeah, she's
They're there for the sexies.
yeah.
They're for the sexies. Okay, great. So let's go around and we're going to get our ratings from everybody. And we're going to start off with our penis scenes. And we go on a scale from 0 to 5. 5 being the absolute best, 0 being the absolute worst in terms of visibility and context. And we'll go ahead and start with Ty, because it's his first time on the podcast. And so what say thee on visibility and context for those dick scenes?
Oh, I mean, they're deeply in context. I'm gonna ding them. Do I rate it separately or as one?
I like to put them together just for
Yeah,
the
I
sake
know.
of time.
All right, then I'll call it a 4 because there's lots of context. But I gotta ding the visibility because it is a little dark. It's artistic, but you're not getting. This isn't like a sunny day nude. It's harsh
I
overhead
couldn't
lighting.
pay those homeless
fluorescent.
people 2 sandwiches.
Yeah, some harsh overheads and dark shadows. So presentation could be better, but lots of context.
I remember one of them's a fucking stuntman. It's like, well,
Yeah.
he would need more than a couple of sandwiches. You see the size of that boy.
Yeah.
He's a
You bring
big
in
lad.
one pro, teach the rest how to do.
Yeah, that's true. Here's your sandwiches. Just throw them on the ground and be like, come fight.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! That's a box full of paper sacks. They turn it over.
Jesus.
Roll camera. They're all freaking. It's actually not acting. They're fighting over bags of sandwiches in that scene.
Okay, Josh. Visibility and context.
I'm gonna agree with. Context isn't even a question. Clearly, they're nude bodies in a morgue. But I agree. I'm actually gonna go a little lower. Even I think a 3.5.
Okay.
I've seen better dicks in movies. Better
Oh, yeah.
representation of dicks in movies. It's fine. It's acceptable, but honestly, I don't even really notice it that much.
Because it's clinical.
That's true. That's exactly why it's clinical.
Straight science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they could have done some inserts of, like, some close-ups. Just saying.
That's
I
fair.
mean,
No, that's
you
fair.
also
yeah.
upset that one wasn't direct, so.
Oh, and that really does upset me. His
Taking it to a 3, what are you
His
doing?
dick should have been as angry as he was. Just screaming.
Okay, Ryan.
Yes?
Visibility and context, please.
Okay, so no, I agree with the context, but I do agree with Josh in that it's maybe a little bit too dark, and there could be a little bit more focus on it. I kind of feel like it's trying to be deliberately quite careful, but I will say this is one of the few occasions where I've gone, we can do that movie because there's that there, and you didn't even have an inkling about it.
That's true.
Where in most
And
cases,
usually.
in most cases, you're like, it's like one of my favorite films of all time. You're like, yeah, there's a dick in there, and I have no idea there's a cock anywhere in the existence of that film. So
I think it's because I maybe haven't. Oh no, we watched it together, and then you said it afterwards. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm usually, it's like I see a butt or I see skin, and I'm like, oh, where is it?
yeah,
Where
it's
is
kind
it?
of like it's this like weird perverse nature that you have. That you just kind of see something and then you kind of point
And
it out.
that's why
yeah.
we're all here right now. So you're welcome.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here.
So for me, I originally had it down as a 4, and I think that I always tend to rate things higher just because I'm happy it's there. Because obviously I want there to be more of it and have kind of an equal representation.
But you also have to be impartial, though.
I know, and you're right. And so I'm gonna go ahead and also give a 3.5. I mean, I could even go to a 3, but that I'm not going to do that because there are so many.
Volume.
And I also saw there are moments in that final chaos scene where you can see some of the actors moving in certain ways, and it kind of looks like they are trying to avoid like being fully in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I noticed it at least one time.
I think
I saw
it's
someone in the back, and I'm like, okay, now he's moving his leg in like this certain type of way, and to be a bit shielded, which
there's
fine,
already there's already quite a fraught. Like, there's a fraught kind of situation with the movie, is that when it comes out originally, it's, like, unrated until it kind of gets picked up, and then it needs to be rated in one way or another. So I kind of feel like they're trying to cover all their bases in one way or another. That's my only thing for that. It's like they're being told to make sure that they do things a certain way, and then that's like all they were able to get.
Out of all of the things that would be problematic for a ratings board, that's probably the least of their worries.
Well, I think you would be surprised, as we have done over 35-something episodes of this podcast, is that usually when there's a dick involved, that is the primary culprit.
Of it,
of any kind, it's like, nope, too late.
Or
it's
not
like
even,
that.
Yeah, getting an X or an NC-17.
Yeah, because no one wants the dreaded NC-17.
No.
So...
You don't get your movie out there.
No. Or you just release it in Europe only and it gets an 18 rating.
Yeah.
So.
Which makes sense. So then we are here for our final ratings of the film altogether. And we'll just go back in a circle again. Ty, what do you think? 0 to 5. 5 being the tip-top culmination of everything you've ever wanted in a film. The 0 being it's trash.
I mean, it's a solid 4.5. I mean, I would call it one of my favorite movies. And a movie I've probably seen, not the most, but up there. I mean, it's probably definitely my top 10 most seen movies. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 4.5. I think I'm just trying to like not be overly nice, like I feel I can be, but yeah, 4.25.
If you desire,
I'm going 4.25.
You can do anything you want with the numbers. So, except they have to be between 0 and 5. So that's fine. Okay.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm 5 stars. This is a goddamn perfect movie. My Letterboxd top 4 are Exorcist, this, Female Trouble, and Clifford. Those are the 4 best movies ever made.
Oh wait, no, it's your turn. Sorry, you go.
If you want to skip me, I mean that's fine. I think you already know what I'm gonna say.
Go for it.
5 stars. Yeah, I think this movie's fucking awesome. Yeah. I always like the kind of low budget kind of hokey sort of stuff, and this just has a really good story behind it as well. So yeah, I mean I've always liked this movie from the first time I saw it. So
just so messy.
Yeah, I like that though.
Messy.
Yeah,
it is very messy.
Yeah, but I mean I think it's original. It's got a fantastic story. There's a whole bunch of stuff behind it where I'm like, there is plenty of occasions where this film would have just like ceased to be in one way or another, depending on the direction that it was going to take. So, and also it's Jeffrey Combs' best role. It's the one he's most synonymous with.
Most frequent role.
It's the role he's synonymous with.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember all the characters he played in
Tell that to a
Star
fucking
Trek.
Trekkie.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Star Trek. Yeah, I can't name all the roles he played in the fucking Star Trek
He was in
shows.
Star Trek?
Multiple.
What do you mean he was in Star Trek? Yeah, all of them.
Was he in Next Generation?
Yeah, starting in Next Generation and on.
Really?
I don't know the shows that well, so but I do know that
he's Voyager, and he plays I can't remember the alien's name, but he's one of the prominent. It's either Deep Space Nine or Voyager.
I think Deep Space Nine he was really prominent.
Yeah, and he's he's in like every episode.
Wow, didn't know that. Here's the thing. Last time I put it down, I gave it a 5.
Oh.
It's still a 5 just because I have it written down. I don't know if it's It's probably more of a 4.5. I'm probably more on your page, Ty, with that one, because it's not like my absolute favorite. But I do love this movie quite a bit, and it always makes me make weird noises because of the things that happen, and I'm always yelling every time, especially when that door comes down and smashes the dean in the face, when the cat goes against the wall.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many moments I'm just like, ugh, you know, or the fellation, you know, it's very upsetting. When you got the mouth, that bloody mouth on her boob, and she's just trying to push his head away. That shit is disgusting. And I always have a visceral reaction to that shit, which I can appreciate that a film makes me do that. I love when a film can make me physically upset. So it can stay a 5 for now. I'm going to keep it that way because I think it's a treasure and a treat. Jeffrey Combs in this role is a marvel and a national treasure. So,
do you think Stuart Gordon's made a bad movie? I don't know. I mean, Stuart Gordon is arguably better director than Quentin Tarantino.
I would agree with that.
So there you go. That's all I wanted to kind of bring up.
Okay,
Not
whatever.
a fan.
Yeah.
All right,
He does not know how to make a rape scene funny.
Wow, you guys. On that note,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here for part 2 of Cocktoberfest.
You're welcome.
Spooky Penis Month. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so glad that we can make this happen. Re-Animator, Spooky Penis Month, Stuart Gordon, Brian Yuzna. Very exciting stuff. So, again, thank you guys. Happy Halloweensies.
Same to you.
Yeah, same.
Halloweeners.
It's still not over, though. We still have Beyond to do.
I know, but it's nice. It's just nice to talk about it. Coming to you from Miskatonic Medical School, I have been Laura.
I'm still Ryan.
I'm Josh.
Still Ty.
Man about town. We'll see you guys next time. Enjoy your life while you still have it.
All right, okay.
Hit the button, make it stop.
Yeah.